In their initial skirmish, the Romans were beaten.
Yeah, the Romans were wetter seamen. I'm sorry. He has graced us with his return. We have been blessed once more. OverSimplified has fed us with another video, not just one, but 2 videos on the first Punic War. It's so beautiful, I might cry. Except then I remember OverSimplified claims every one of my reactions. So, if you want to support me and enjoy the content here, please go check out my other videos, like and share them so that I can make up for the loss in revenue that comes from reacting to OverSimplified videos. Because if these were not claimed, I wouldn't be able to. I still wouldn't be able to make this a living. But you know, I'd probably be able to up my production value if these weren't claimed, because these get a lot of views. So, like, you know, that sucks. I still have the same webcam that I used when I started this video. I've just gotten better at putting up lighting. But a better camera would be nice. But no, I don't get that. Anyways, the first Punic War, OverSimplified Part 1. Before we dive in, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. I would love it if you joined the Discord and followed me over at Twitch. It has been 8 or 9. Last one was in December of last year, of 2021, the Pig War. But I think I uploaded that on the New Year. It was pretty late. Whatever, it's been 8-9 months since the last OverSimplified video. I'm actually surprised that the Punic War was the next choice. I didn't think he'd go back in time. I thought he was going to do another relatively modern story. Because what? It was the Pig War, and then we had the Russian Revolution. Was that the one before the Pig War? And then before the Pig War, we had... Before the Russian Revolution, it was... Prohibition. So far we've been on a streak of relatively modern stories. Modern historical stories. But no, this time we're going back over 1,000 years. Over 2,000 years. Fucking, I know the year it is. God. Great start. But yeah, this should be fun. I'm really I have a feeling that I think I know where part 1 here is going to end, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to say anything that'll make me then sound dumb. Although I do say a lot of things that make me sound dumb. Let's get used to that. Get ready. Over a 3-minute intro here because I like to waste time and I like to ramble. Get fucking used to it. Whine in the comments. I don't care. You literally cannot say anything that will break me. Because I'll just block you. Fucking challenge me, you bitches. I'll go to war. With the block button. What the... It's probably not... Yeah, whatever. I'm done rambling.
Your mother. It's your choice.
God, I missed your voice. I got 100 problems, but... No. 99 problems, but Rome ain't one. Yeah. Because if it was 2 X's, then it would be, you know, 100. But no, it's XCIX 99. Is it? Because the X should mean... No, the X... What the fuck? The X is a 10. Is the X a 10? No, I thought... Isn't C like 50? I thought X was 100. Fuck, I don't know my Roman numerals. Rome, sweet Rome. What is happening here? Oh my god, the production value's gone up though. Look at the detail in the background there.
Oh, Marcellus, you sure have a lot of dignitas. Kiss me. Okay.
Hey, Dad. Hi, son. Just reading the newspaper. What can I do for you? Well, you know how you always say Rome is the
greatest civilization in the world? It bloody well is. Well, I was just wondering, what makes us so great? How did we come to be? Wow, my son. Boy, let me take you on a journey. To this side of the room. The
Story of Rome. Warning. Tales contained within this slideshow presentation may be partially or entirely mythical.
story of Rome begins with these beautiful baby boys going to town on some she-wolf mommy milkers. That's
We're off to a great start.
gross. You're gross! Sorry, son. You're not gross. I love you. They're called Romulus and Remus, and when they grew up, in 753 BC, they founded Rome. But there was just one problem. They couldn't agree on which of them should be the king. But they worked it out peacefully, right? Oh, heavens no. Romulus caved Remus's skull in with a shovel. Here's a picture. Our first king committed fratricide? I know.
You know, honestly, that should be a warning message that Rome, you know what? Yeah, starting off your civilization with fratricide probably isn't the best idea.
Look at his face. When's the part where we become the greatest civilization, Dad? Well,
We're already there.
you see, at first Rome was full of men. I'm talking like a real sausage party. You know what I mean?
Like Greece.
Yes, sir. So we invited some neighboring cities over for a big feast. And then we literally kidnapped all of their women. Here's a picture. Look.
Wait, I don't know much about the founding of Rome. Did they actually do this?
Look at that one. She's like,
This is messed up.
Hold on.
that one. She's like,
This is messed up. You're messed up. Ugh. Sorry. I'll be a better father. I promise. So then, finally, after centuries of monarchy, those tyrannical kings started getting a little too big for their britches. So we overthrew the kings and established Rome as a republic. Is that when all the killing stopped? No. That's when the killing surged, baby. We went wild and conquered the Latin League, the Samnites, the Etruscans. Woo! What a rush!
But also, a lot of them were also through alliances where that just kind of slowly got incorporated into the Roman Republic. Yeah, Rome actually used a lot of... I feel like it's... I mean, I know he's oversimplifying it. Of course, it's in the name. But I feel like that's something that often gets overlooked is just how many auxiliary units Rome really used. Like, the cavalry, for much of Roman history, I think probably even throughout the Roman Republic, was... The cavalry was not Roman. The cavalry was Roman allies, however much you could really call them allies. Rome really dominated everything, even in an alliance. Or if they could dominate the alliance, they most certainly dominated the alliance.
Dad, Rome seems pretty barbaric. You're barbaric! Oh, I forgot to tell you about the time a prophet told Saturn his son would one day overthrow him. So Saturn literally ate his own son seconds after he was born. I don't want to see a picture. Here's a picture. Dad! Look at that! That's messed up, man. Are we really this uncivilized? Hey! If we were so uncivilized, would we use communal toilets where we all fart and poo together in one big stinky, steamy, dirty toilet room? Yeah, Dad. We would. Clean your butt
Oh!
with a sponge,
Local tradesmen given 1 day to build Rome.
Timulus. But all these guys just used it. What's wrong with your son, bro?
I don't want to be Roman. This is so...
Oh, is this... Did they... Oh, no.
Weird. You're weird. Sorry, you're not weird. I'm sure you're probably fine.
Oh my god, that is a beautiful painting. God, he's really
The
up
Roman
to production.
Republic, a nation that, since its foundation, had been stabbing necks all the way down the Italian peninsula. But this isn't the famous Roman Empire that ruled the known world. Not yet anyway. This is a relatively juvenile Rome, still just a regional power.
I pooed my pants.
In 264 BC, the big daddy of the Western Mediterranean was Carthage. Let's rewind a bit.
Oh god.
Carthage was founded in 814 BC, when some Phoenicians in Tyre had a mega surplus of goods and decided to export those goods across the Mediterranean. They became the dominant trading power in the region, and to support their growing trade network, the Phoenicians established a number of colonies, one of which was Carthage. Therefore, Carthage began its life as a Phoenician trade colony, and the Carthaginians were actually Phoenicians. Or, if you're a Latin-speaking Roman, they were Punic, hence the name of
Haha, get it?
the video. Over the centuries,
Oh!
Carthage gradually expanded and became the region's base of power. Just like Rome, Carthage was a semi-democratic republic with its own senate and judiciary. But there were also some pretty hefty differences between the two. While Rome was big into farming and stabbing people in the neck, the Carthaginians, on the other hand, just like their Phoenician forefathers, had built their power through trade and navigating the waves.
Whee!
They went here and there, selling ivory
And over
tusks,
there.
gold, and slaves. And as a result,
Yay.
they were rolling in it. Whenever they weren't busy swimming around in their copious hoards of money, in their spare time, they also possibly enjoyed sacrificing their children to Baal, the god of... Let me just check my notes. Ah, yes. Plant fertility. Oh boy. Boy, these figs aren't looking too hot. Maybe if I throw my son into a burning pit of fire, they'll grow. Have you
You know what? I think it's worth a shot.
tried watering them, Dad?
With
No, I'll
blood.
try that second. As a result of all their trading, Carthage had emerged as one of the Mediterranean superpowers. But wait, they said. Rome? What the heck is that? Well, I know it's a pretty obscure little country that you've probably never heard of. But this spunky young nation was about to upset the entire region's balance of power. Initially,
Wasn't it through, yeah, I'm feeling this is what it's gonna be talking about right here. It was the dispute, the First Punic War largely started over dispute over, Sicily, wasn't it?
the two sides enjoyed relatively friendly relations, and had even signed a couple treaties. But it was a relationship that was practically destined to turn sour. See, Rome had a thing where they liked to aggressively expand their boundaries,
Yeah.
often
Just a little bit.
viewing such expansion as a defensive act. Kinda like when you kill your neighbor, because you knew eventually they would have tried to kill you first.
Facts.
Meanwhile, Carthage was extremely protective of its wealthy trade network. So if you put a very strategically important island between them, well, 2 + 2 equals war. Tensions rose, and the two sides began viewing each other with increasing disdain. The hard-working Romans looked across the water at the money-hungry Carthaginians and said, "Look at those dishonest crooks. Bet they've never done an honest day's work in their lives." And the Carthaginians looked back and said, "Look at those simple-minded brutes. Bet they've never sacrificed a baby in their lives."
Actually, they probably have.
Yeah. While war between the two
Who knows?
superpowers
I don't know religious practices. I'm not a...
seemed inevitable, the event that finally triggered it was a little unexpected. The whole thing began with a few simple mad lads on a wild night out. These mad lads
You know what? As all wars start with just a few simple mad lads on a wild night out.
are called the Mamertines. They were Italian mercenaries employed by the tyrant of Syracuse here. But when he died, his successor said, "Sorry fellas, we don't need any big burly men with sharp sticks anymore. You can all go home." The Mamertines, as it turned out, didn't want to go home. So instead, they went to the nearby town of Messana and said, "Hey man, we are but poor little buff boys with..."
Poor little buff boys without a home.
Without a home. May we come in? Aw, poor fellas. Sure thing. Just so long as you promise not to massacre all of us. We promise. The Mamertines then massacred all of them. Well, not all of them, just the men. And they stole their homes and families.
Yeah.
Ha! This is my house now. This is my best dad ever mug now. And you guys are my new family. Son, wanna go play catch with your old papa? You're not my real dad! Ugh.
My Chemical Bromance.
Teenagers, am I right, dear? You're not my real husband! Ugh, I'm so trapped in this marriage. Then get out! No, Messana was now controlled by the Mamertines, and they began raiding up and down the Syracuse coastline. When the new ruler of Syracuse saw this, he wasn't happy. The Syracusans began fighting back, and in response, the Mamertines said, "Oh crap, they're fighting back? What do we do? Quick, we'll convince the Carthaginians to come and save us." Oh no! We're in trouble. And we need a big, strong
Sure.
empire to come and rub
Sure.
our bellies. Why are you
Yeah, why are you saying it like that?
saying it like that? If I was a big, strong empire, I think I'd like to be seduced.
You know what? Fair.
See? It's working! The Carthaginians had long dreamed of controlling all of Sicily. They had been fighting Syracuse and their Greek influence on the island for centuries. And now, here was a great opportunity to get one over on them. So Carthage promptly answered the Mamertines' cry for help and sent a force to garrison Messana. As it turned out, however, some within the ranks of the Mamertines weren't too happy with the occupying Carthaginians, and they sent out a second cry for help to Rome. When it reached the Roman Senate, they
Dear
were
Rome, please come and rub our bellies. Love the
a
Mamertines.
little more hesitant. Going to help the Mamertines ran the risk of triggering an all-out war with
They have my island, Torp.
Carthage, and they had only just finished conquering the Italian peninsula, so they were kind of tired. Plus, the Mamertines were all the way across the water. They had never made a leap like that before, so you would assume that to avoid
Well, actually, because of the armor he's wearing, he should be sinking straight to the bottom of the water.
any conflict with Carthage, the exhausted Romans would probably sit this one out. But you would assume wrong. Rome just couldn't resist a good chance for war. Why? Well, there's something you gotta understand about Rome. See, as a republic, they were hell-bent on preventing any one man from ever gaining too much power. And so rather
Unless, you know, it was them.
than having one leader, Rome had two, called consuls, who shared power. These consuls could also only serve for 1 year at a time before new consuls were elected. These measures to limit the powers of the consuls were noble, but had an interesting side effect.
You know, one thing that's always kind of amazed me with the consuls is really how long it worked for the Roman Republic, but also, like, serving a 1-year term in, you know, in a time period in which getting messages across. Now, of course, they could communicate faster than really I think we give them credit for, largely in the modern age, just because our concept of time, I think, has become so skewed because of the internet that, you know, like, it would still take maybe a couple days. And then obviously when the Roman road network got built, you know, they had a really solid system in place. I think the system in place in the Achaemenid Empire along the Royal Road was better than the Romans had, but you know what? We'll let the Roman, you know, that's beside the point. I think, you know, but still, like, even with the amount of time it took, it's still crazy to me that really kind of the stability there was in a 1-year term. Like, a 1 year, like, even for me in the modern age, if I were to have to elect a new government official every single fucking year, I would hate it. I don't care that it's good. It's good for society. And of course, I will always vote. I make sure to vote every time. Every 2 years. That's how it is here. You know, every 2 years feels like it happens. It's often enough. Every single year? Oh, that'd be a bit much. Because then it would be, at least in our modern age, that would be non-stop political advertisements. They already start advertising a year in advance of, or like maybe even at times a year and a half in advance of the election. Shit's fucking insane. I hate it. Fucking, can we make a new rule where it's like, you can only advertise your political campaigns 6 months before the election, at most. Sorry, tangent. Had to.
Consuls knew they had just 1 year to try and gain as much glory and prestige as possible, something that was very important.
Well, wasn't it you could serve again as a consul after a few years or something? Because I don't think it was one time and then never again. I think it was one time and then you wait like several years and then you can come back and do it again.
In Roman society.
I'm really rusty on my Roman history. I'm not sorry.
And the best way of gaining glory and prestige Military victory, of course. The Roman political system.
Roman politics and military were intertwined. Facts. Senators were often also military generals. Facts. Consuls led the armies. Facts. Consuls served one-year terms. Facts. Consuls had 1 year to go and crack as many skulls as possible. Facts.
Basically ended up encouraging these consuls to go out and be as aggressive as your Italian grandmother when you don't eat all the spaghetti.
Eat all the spaghetti or everything you will get.
And so
God, that Italian was bad. I'm sorry.
glory-seeking consuls convinced the people to vote in favor of going to Messana.
Woo!
And
War!
they went. Upon the arrival of the Romans, the Carthaginians in the city, amongst the confusion, were forced to leave. Now, in contrast to Roman aggression, the Carthaginian military had a slightly different philosophy. All right, kid.
Well, wasn't the Carthaginian military very largely mercenaries?
Listen up.
Like, they didn't really have, like, even at this time, Rome didn't have a professional standing military. That would come probably, what, around the Third Punic War, I want to say? Yeah, I'm rusty on my Roman history here. Things blend together. But I believe the reason, really, the Carthaginians, I would argue, ultimately lost this war is because they didn't really have, they relied too much on mercenaries. Mercenaries really drained the coffers faster than I would say a actual homegrown military does. Because a homegrown military, you can pay them less and rely on their national pride to get them to fight for you. You can't do that with a mercenary. A mercenary, you gotta pay them and make sure they're paid. Otherwise, they'll just leave.
If you want to grow up to be Carthaginian military leaders, there's a few things you have to understand. If you fail to succeed on the battlefield, that's a crucifixion.
Oh.
Showing cowardice, that's a crucifixion. Hello,
Oh.
sir. What are you doing here? Aren't you meant to be in Messana? Yeah, but the Romans showed up. So you just left? Sure did. Oh, you better believe that's a crucifixion.
Yeah!
The Roman consuls were awarded for victory, and therefore tended to be aggressive go-getters. By contrast, the Carthaginian generals were brutally punished for failure, and so they tended to be more cautious and restrained. This dynamic is helpful for understanding some of the crazy things that happened during the Punic Wars. So, the Romans have crossed over to Messana, and now there was some red on the island. Hit that panic button. This turn of events was unacceptable to both Carthage and Syracuse, so the traditional enemies teamed up to kick the Romans off their island. They surrounded the city and said, "Hey, you jerks! This isn't your island! Come out of there at once!" "Okay, we're coming!" See, Phil, you just gotta speak with authority.
What kind of Greek is named Phil? Or Phoenician?
That's what being an alpha male's all about.
Oh, no.
Hey, man. Oh, you brought your weapons and armor? No, I didn't mean... Oh, crap. Out the Roman legions came to engage the Carthaginians in battle, and they sent them packing. With the Battle of Messana, whether intended or not, by going to help the Mamertines, the two sides had just slipped into an all-out war. With the initial Roman victory, towns across Sicily, including Syracuse, began switching allegiance, because being a winner is more fun. But the Carthaginians weren't about to just give up that easily. In 262 BC, they began building up their forces at Agrigentum. So the Romans, being aggressive go-getters, aggressively go-got them. The Romans immediately laid siege, hoping to starve out the Carthaginian garrison. However, because this was the first time Rome had been fighting outside the Italian peninsula, across the water, they struggled to supply their forces, and before long, the Romans were as starving as the Carthaginians they were besieging. They had to forage for food, leaving them open to ambush. And when Carthaginian reinforcements arrived, creating a double siege, things got really
Things are looking a bit like Caesar in Gaul.
bad. Everybody starved each other for months until nobody could take it anymore, and they all finally came out for battle, which Rome won. Here's the report from the recent siege at Agrigentum, sir. We killed 30,000 while only suffering 7,000 losses? That's amazing! We're the best! Yes, sir. Whoops, those are the wrong way around.
Oh.
What? We lost 30,000? We're the worst! But we won, right? Yes, sir. But we also got our asses kicked. Yes, sir. So are we the best or the worst?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The Romans wanted Agrigentum because they were aggressive go-getters, and they now began eyeing up the possibility of conquering the entire island. But they also suffered very heavy losses, and it was clear they couldn't sustain a campaign if they couldn't supply their troops. Here's the issue. Sicily was an island.
Yes, it
Islands
is.
are surrounded by water.
Yes, they tend to be.
A strong navy would be vital for supplying troops and winning the war.
Yes, it would be.
Here was Carthage's navy, and here was Rome's. I think you can see the problem. Historians
I see nothing wrong with it.
debate just how much naval experience Rome had at this point. Presumably, they must have had something to defend their shoreline. But whatever it was, it would have paled in comparison to the Carthaginian juggernaut. And so Rome had to figure out exactly what to do about all this water. Come on, men. We're not gonna let some pansy candy-ass water get in the way of our glorious victory against Carthage. Charge!
Yep, there he goes, he's drowning.
I love... We're gonna need a bigger boat. What's a boat? I don't know. If the Romans wanted to win this war and obtain Sicily, there was only one thing for them to do. I guess we're just gonna have to go ahead and build ourselves a war fleet, aren't we? From scratch? From scratch. But we don't even know how. Never mind how to fight with.
Is he gonna cover Rome stealing, like they stole a trireme from the Carthaginians, isn't it?
One. Don't worry, Hank. We're up to the challenge.
Ah, yes. Hancus Hincicus, the great Roman soldier.
Come on, guys. We're Romans, and Romans aren't afraid of anything. And so, the Romans worked
Horses are a boat, not a boat. Fish are a boat, not a boat.
long and hard trying to figure out how on earth you actually build the latest style of warship. In the end, they had a bit of luck on their side. A Carthaginian quinquireme ended
Oh, it was a quinquirem. I was wrong.
up accidentally grounding on Italian soil. The Romans found it and copied the design. While the new fleet was being built, the Romans trained rowers on land. And would you believe it? The Romans put together a full fighting fleet of 120 warships in
Nice.
just 2 months. A
Nice.
staggering feat. Now, I know what you're thinking, but oversimplified. If the Romans can build a war fleet from scratch in 2 months, then why does it take you half a year to make a video?
It's been more than half a year.
Well, my valued subscriber, I think you should shut up. What the heck? How on earth did the Romans
I love how OverSimplified's like, self-aware.
learn how to build a war fleet? This shouldn't be happening. From what I hear, they copied the design from us, sir. Well, how on earth did they get the blueprint, Carl? I don't know, sir. But I'll tell you what. If you're worried about people stealing your data, no. And you
Oh.
want to protect yourself from outside
He
threats,
is so
you
smooth
dare,
with
then
it.
You, my friend. If you mention NordVPN, I'll scream. Should use NordVPN. Do you like corporations knowing everything about you and then selling your data to advertise at Agrigentum? Supply. So thank you. Now where were we? Oh yeah. The siege at Agrigentum, supply issues, and building a war fleet.
Woo!
So now the Romans have a navy, and it's time to put it to the test. But how does one wage ancient naval warfare? Easy. All of the ships had giant bronze rams on the front, so all you had to do was outmaneuver the enemy and give him the jimmies.
Give him a little
Easy
poke.
as pie. And so the aggressive Romans set out for some good old-fashioned jimmy giving. The consul, Gnaeus Cornelius Scipio, set out for the town of Lipara, believing the garrison there wanted to join the Romans. As he entered the harbor, however, he found himself trapped by a Carthaginian fleet.
Yes.
And in the following skirmish, he was completely outmatched.
Rip.
The Romans may have had a brand new fleet, but when it came to engaging in actual combat, their inexperience showed. There
Yep.
was just something better about the Carthaginian ships. The Carthaginian rowers had nicer abs. The entire Carthaginian Empire
Fucking hell.
had been built on expert seamanship. So, when it
Yeah,
came to water, the
seamanship.
Carthaginians were better, and the Romans were wetter. In their initial skirmish, the Romans were beaten
Yeah, the Romans were wetter seamen. I'm sorry.
So badly that the consul, Scipio, was given a nickname, Asina. And if you're wondering what that means, just drop the Ina. So what were the Romans to do? How could they possibly stand up to this Carthaginian superpower? Well, there's something you gotta understand about the Romans. Back when they found that Carthaginian ship and copied its design, that wasn't a one-off thing. Copying their enemies was as Roman as punishing murderers by sewing them into a leather pouch with a monkey, snake, and rooster, and then throwing them into a river, which is a thing they did. Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, copying their enemies.
Yeah.
Many of them.
This was largely probably, aside from the surprising well, it got less stable as time went on, but the stability of the early Roman Republic, its strong suit, that being probably its greatest strong suit, the stability that surprisingly had, but then its second greatest strong suit, I would say, is its ability to borrow from its enemies, adapt its techniques. Now, what's interesting is that as Rome got less stable, Rome also got a bit less willing to adapt, it seems. So, like, how those coincide is pretty cool.
Most famous Roman inventions were actually borrowed. Aqueducts, chariot racing, their gods. Even in warfare, the Romans would get pierced by a Sabine javelin, and they'd be like, wow. They'd get hacked to bits by an Iberian sword, and they'd be like, wow. And they'd copy the designs for themselves. However, they wouldn't just copy it. They would advance it, finding ways to adapt it as perfectly as possible. And in the case of naval warfare, the Romans realized if they wanted to beat the Carthaginians at their own game, they would have to adapt. The Romans excelled at combat on land, not on water. But what if, they said, we could somehow turn a sea battle into a land battle? Sounds crazy, right? Well, they made a couple of tweaks to their warship, and look, here they come again. They must love getting their asses kicked. Sir, what's that toll thing sticking out of their ships? They really are idiots. Look at that thing. That'll make them blow over. I mean, look at...
Is he gonna get pierced by it?
Bob, get your camera out. Take a picture of it. I mean, how stupid can you be? Let's just add a big wooden tower to our ship that'll weigh us down and blow us over in the wind.
He's gonna get stabbed by it.
I mean, what does that thing even do?
Yep.
The Romans had built a big swinging spiked gangway called the Corvus. So when the Carthaginian ships approached to ram them, the Romans would just slam them. The Carthaginians tried going around. No problem. The Corvus could swivel. Try going behind. The Romans would huddle to the coastline. It was foolproof.
Nice.
Those big, sexy Carthaginian rowing muscles could flex all they want, but they were no match for the Roman mind. So ladies, you see, what really matters is what's on the inside. Please go out with me. And with
OverSimplified, do you need to talk about it, buddy? You okay?
that, the Romans, who had only just recently began dabbling in the art of naval combat, thanks to their ingenious Corvus, had just managed to outclass the Mediterranean seafaring superpower. The Carthaginians were stunned, and the general in charge of the defeated Carthaginian fleet, well, you better believe that's a crucifixion.
Yay!
With their newfound control of the seas, the Romans could now more easily blockade coastal cities and supply their legions on land. Surely, the Romans were now free to unleash their aggression all over the island. Haha! Hey Carthaginians, what are you gonna do now that we're free to rampage across the island? We're gonna go inside these walls and close this gate. Oh, come on, guys. Stop messing around. Come out so we can kill you. No. Oh, come on. No.
How about yes?
Oh, no.
To counter
I was wondering when he was gonna do that.
the new Roman supremacy, the Carthaginians decided to engage in a defensive war of attrition,
Did you use
forcing
pardon?
the Romans to engage in siege. After lengthy siege, the war in Sicily became a long, hard, back-and-forth slug. One by one, cities slowly fell as the Romans gained ground. Occasionally, the Carthaginians countered and even pushed them back, only for the Romans to rebound again. And whenever a city did finally fall, the Romans could delight in slaughtering the entire population and selling any survivors into slavery, which was pretty standard procedure at the time.
Yeah.
In general, the campaign on land was progressing much slower than the Romans had hoped, and quite frankly, they were getting sick of it. So in 256 BC, they decided that something had to change. Hey everyone, my name's Marcus Attilius Regulus, and I'll be one of your consuls for this year. Look,
He looks like a Chad.
as I'm sure you all know, Sicily's being a bit of a drag. Sure, I could go and spend my entire year as consul besieging one single city, but they'll never make a naked statue of me for that. So here's the new plan. I'm gonna skip Sicily entirely, take my army, and go right for the heart of Carthage itself. I'll slaughter the men, enslave all the women and children, and when I return, you'll all build 1,000 naked statues of me.
I have a feeling his plan goes to shit.
Marcus, that women and children stuff, that seems pretty evil and barbaric. No, Jim, it's perfectly normal in the ancient world. Sometimes we even chop their pets in half.
No.
Okay, guys, looks like the Romans are coming straight for us this time. And what will they do when they get here? They'll kill us all.
Not just the men, but the women and children too.
They'll massacre each and every last one of us. They may even chop our pets in half. That's barbaric! No, Rob, it's actually pretty normal for the time. We'd do the same to them. Who'll protect us? Funny you should ask, Mary. That's kind of why I called this meeting. Who will protect us? Protect our families, our homes, our children.
Our
You
pets.
guys? Ha! Don't make me laugh. Why, you're just a bunch of stupid and weak farmers. Simple-minded buffoons. Cowards.
Where is he going
Fools.
with this?
Rob here thinks enslaving women and children is barbaric. You're a snowflake, Rob. Yes, you are. The fact is, if the Romans manage to land on African soil, we're all gonna die. A terrifying, hideous, unspeakably painful death. Is that the end of that speech? Yes.
Woo! Oh. We're panicking, okay.
The Carthaginians had to stop the Romans from ever landing in Africa because they believed that would be the end. So as the Romans were building an invasion fleet, the size of which the world had never seen before, the Carthaginians were preparing an even bigger one to stop them. And in 256 BC, as the Roman invasion fleet made its way south, the stage was set for a humongous battle that saw 680 warships,
Damn.
around 300,000 men.
Damn. That many men can fit on that many ships? Holy fuck, those are some thick ass ships. Hold on. What is that? Well, that'd be... That's more than 1,000 men per ship. Clearly. What is that? 10,000 men? No. It's 10,000 men per ship would be 300,000. So it's roughly 5,000 men per ship. 4 to 5,000 men per ship. Is my math right?
Fighting to decide the course of the war. To this day, the Battle of Cape Egnomus remains possibly the largest naval battle in human history, all the way back in ancient times. So the next time your granddad tells you about the time he sank a Japanese aircraft carrier, kick him in the nuts. The
What the fuck?
Romans had a lot riding on this battle. They weren't just sending their warships, but transports as well, full of supplies and horses for their invasion of Africa. They therefore formed a protective wedge-like formation to punch through the long, thin Carthaginian line. The Carthaginian generals, however, desperate to prevent the Romans from reaching Africa, had a plan of their own. As the Roman fleet approached, the Carthaginian center feigned a retreat. luring the Romans in so their outstretched flanks could envelop them and get around the Roman
Man, it's almost as if this becomes a pretty favored strategy of the Carthaginians later on.
corvus. A clever plan. But with such a huge battle and so many ships crowded together, the Carthaginians struggled to maneuver as hoped. And in the chaos, 3 separate battles emerged across the huge battle space. With the number of ships limiting their ability to maneuver, the Carthaginians became sitting ducks, and all the Romans had to do was start swinging. The Roman center came out on top, and were then able to turn around and rescue their pinned down flanks. The Battle of Cape Ecnomus was a Roman victory.
That's a big Roman victory. Okay, that's where we're ending it. Huh, didn't think they would end on the Battle of Cape Ecnomus. Okay, I thought maybe this would go towards a little bit further. But, you know what? That's okay. That was the First Punic War Oversimplified Part 1. Make sure to check out tomorrow. Come back tomorrow and watch my reaction to Part 2. I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not gonna sneeze. I controlled it, because I don't know. Anyways. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to hit that like button and I'm forgetting how I outro. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.